So that's a great question. So when I was applying to law school, I imagined that law school was kind of a Hogwarts for justice, where everybody comes and we learn how to fight for justice together. And that's especially at Harvard, that's kind of the image that I had in my head. And that is not what I found when I got there. I found that at Harvard Law School, at least, it's mostly an institution that seeks to preserve and hoard power, to put it in one sentence, and not to fight for justice. And so that's the kind of foundation where my answers are going to come from.
And look, I know it's a lot of people that saying, oh man, you should just let this go. It's over. But it's something about that DC plane crash that's not sitting right with me. You telling me that American airline plane had 1 minute. It had 1 minute to land, and out of nowhere, not any helicopter, not just any helicopter, an Army helicopter came out of nowhere and crashed into it. You telling me that's a coincidence? You telling me I should just move on with life and watch the damn Super Bowl? And then I said, wait, something not right, something not adding up. And then I found this recent video. Check this shit out.
University has laid off a team of researchers tasked with identifying descendants of those enslaved by the university's leadership.
NBC 10 Boston's Malcolm Johnson has more on the sudden terminations of those researching the university's past. It's a story all new at 5.
We found over 900 people enslaved by Harvard leadership, faculty, and staff.
It was Wayne Tucker's job to find people enslaved on Harvard's campus by Harvard leaders, faculty, and staff, and to trace their descendants. That is, until yesterday.
Yesterday, we were just relieved of all of our duties around 11:30 a.m.
Tucker and his colleagues at the Harvard Slavery Remembrance Program, a university initiative tasked with identifying direct descendants of those enslaved by Harvard leadership, were abruptly laid off.
It's disgusting, to treat your colleagues like that.
Tucker says the program worked with passion because of how many descendants they'd found.
That rush, when you find that nugget, you're like, oh my God. That's a rush that we would get once a week.
That 900 number is a big number.
Sean Wynn is the president of Harvard Black Law Students.
I think for a lot of people, we saw the 9-figure commitment to a legacy of slavery initiative as a positive sign and a step in the right direction. And I think I, speak for a lot of people on this campus when I say that this most recent news feels like it is a step in the wrong direction.
It's absolutely not good colleagueship, and it does not reflect well on senior leadership at the initiative and the university as a whole.
The research will be continued by American Ancestors, a genealogical nonprofit based right here in New England. Reporting in Needham, I'm Malcolm Johnson, NBC 10 Boston.
And see, that video was from 2 weeks ago, and that plane crash happened January the 29th. That same weekend, Kiah Duggins was headed to Harvard to participate in a Systemic Justice Project conference. A Systemic Justice Project conference is a gathering organized by the Systemic Justice Project, typically based at the Harvard Law School, where academics, lawyers, activists, and students convene to discuss and analyze how systemic injustices operate within the law system, focusing on ways to address these issues through law and policy changes, often with a focus on the role of lawyers in broader societal problems and systemic change. And you saw the video. Harvard just laid off employees whose job was to find descendants of slaves they once owned at their university. And you think Kiah Duggins ain't know that? You think she ain't know that was about to happen? You think she ain't know this was happening? Do you think they wanted Kiah Duggins moving on to Howard University and teaching her students, her people, everything she learned at Harvard University, everything she found out, all the dark shit she found out? And look, when it comes to Harvard University, Harvard Law, all the same thing. When it comes to them, their job is to study people. They use their students to study people, study a group of people like black people, and they study you to keep you down so they know what type of music to put out. They know what type of food to put out. They know what type of social media content to put out to keep us fighting against each other. That's their job. That's what they do. Because how you have 900 slaves that you own, but see, they only telling us 900 because if they told us the true number, if they told us the real number, it would be too disrespectful. And look, I can tell you what type of student Kiah Duggins was. She wanted the campus and she learned on her own. She was smarter than her professors because she knew the truth. Your professor in college, they can only tell you what they tell them to tell you, what the curriculum say to tell you. That's all they can tell you. A lot of times, especially as Black people, we know more than professors because we go tell the truth because they go try to hide the slavery. They go try to hide about your ancestors. They go try to hide that. But Kiah Duggins always called them out. And not only that, I can picture her right now. I can picture her finding all the dirt, finding all the cheat codes at Harvard University. And she was going to get those same cheat codes to the people at Howard University. If you don't believe me, check this out.
And Ivy Leagues hoard a lot of power and privilege. And so I was like, let me go in here and see what I can take. Let me go in here and see what I can take and sprinkle about the world. So that's why I chose Harvard. And Harvard's a good place to come and get, take things, take resources, get all you can, sprinkle it about the world, kind of like Robin Hood style. And so, yeah, that's why I chose it.
And see, look, when it comes to these people, nothing is a coincidence. I don't care what it is, the LA fires, Hurricane Katrina, the levees breaking, guns on trains being dropped off in crates in the hood, and a damn Army Black Hawk helicopter running into an American airline plane. That's not a coincidence. What's the irony? 1 week you lay off people. It was their job to find descendants of slaves that you once owned, that Harvard University once owned. And then the next week you have a former student who's still involved in the school, an activist, an attorney. She's about to be a professor at Howard University. And that next week, her plane is hit by an Army helicopter. That's not a coincidence. I need y'all to slow down when it comes to life and really think things through, because these people getting away with murder. Because you heard the video I played in the beginning. She said Harvard is not about justice. And we seeing what they doing right now. They getting rid of the people who's trying to find the descendants. They getting rid of everything that has to do with Black. And then I slowed it down some. I said, wait. I remember she interned with Michelle Obama. I said, wait, I know Michelle Obama said something. She shouted her out. She said, rest in peace or something. So I went to Michelle Obama's Instagram account and I saw nothing. She posts nothing. I said, okay, let me see if Obama said something. Obama said nothing. I said, okay, I know they wrote some articles or anything. No articles. Okay, Mike, let me try YouTube. No YouTube videos. Neither one of them. No TikTok videos, neither one of them. And then it dawned on me, Michelle and Obama went to Harvard University. The things that Kiah Duggins believed in, it was too real and raw. They can't be connected to her. And when I say the things she believed in, Black people, she believed in her people. She loved her people, like for real, in real life. She wasn't just talking. She wasn't just getting on a podium and just talking about hope and shit. And matter of fact, let's read a quick passage from her 32-page journal. Check this out. In light of unsuccessful police reforms, contemporary Black American abolitionists like Dr. Angela Davis and Marion Kaba have refocused movements for police accountability on the largest systemic forces contributing to police violence like colonialism, economic exploitation, and white supremacist ideologies. Dismantling the root causes of police violence requires a societal transformation that reforms like body cameras and training cannot fix. Residents in high crime communities have been asking for better schools, parks, libraries, and jobs, but these services are rarely provided because the residents lack political power to obtain support that would make their community safer and healthier. Instead of asking the police to be the lead agency in dealing with homelessness, mental illness, school discipline, youth unemployment, immigration, youth violence, SEX work, and drugs, contemporary Black abolitionists demand that funding be divested from the police and invested into education, healthcare, and housing programs that can tackle inequality directly, as we see from the example of Taiwan's successful efforts to protect marginalized communities by strengthening social and political infrastructures. Listening to Black activists' calls for social and political investment will help the U.S. become a more equitable society. And she was basically telling y'all, in our community, the police ain't there to help the people. It ain't there to fix the problems. They there to exploit the people. Because like I always tell y'all, without crime, without poverty, without miseducation, jobs like a police officer, a judge, a DA, a lawyer, jobs like these people won't get paid. And that's why every black leader, they unalive. Every black group, they unalive or they send them to prison. Every strong black community, they either bomb it, they flood it, or they set it on fire. Tell me I'm lying. But through all of this, we will not play the victim. We know what comes with this activism shit. They catch you when you least expect it. So right now, all we have to do is pick up the pieces, keep evolving, and keep moving forward. And look, y'all remember when I told y'all that Harvard didn't say anything. They didn't make no posts. They didn't make no Facebook posts, no Instagram posts, no YouTube videos about Kiah Duggins. Obama and Michelle, no videos about her. But guess who made a video about her? The school she taught at in 2017 in Taiwan. I'm going to put the link to that article and the videos in the description. They said how much they miss her, how sad they are, how happy the kids used to be to see her. And in her 32-page journal, she talked about this. She talked about how Taiwan respected her. She felt like a real human being, and she wanted Black Americans to feel that way in America. And that's what she was fighting for. And look, I'm not done talking about Kiah Duggins. We on this all year. And rest in peace to everyone that was on that plane. We will not forget you. I know I won't. I'm out.